here we are again.
That's just with our pants down.
Absolutely. Well, welcome again. We are here, post-match reaction. The link to come and join us is in the chat. Have a look at that. If you want to come on, show your face. If you don't want to show your face, don't have to. You obviously are more than welcome to come on behind the camera or without the camera and have your say. Not a great show, to be fair. But again, we did enough to get us over the line. 3 goals, 2 goals for Willock, 1 dodgy goal, and 2 goals for Blues. So yeah, strange one. Not a lot that really blew my frock up, if I'm honest. But you know, like I say, a win's a win, and that's what you've got to go. It's another win, isn't it?
That's it. Job done. Job done.
So I suppose,
like I say, proving what we knew already, that our bench is not all that it should be. Let's just say that.
no.
And nobody there coming on and staking a claim to be starting on Saturday, which is
it's yeah, Stephen Field. Glad to have got past those dirty Brummy bar stewards. Love it. But like I say, if you please come and have your say. We are here for you guys. If you want to come and join us, feel free to. But like I say, before we start, I suppose I better do my my housework because the place is a bit dusty. So let's get cracking. Again, as always, welcome to everybody across all of the platforms that's watching. Thanks to all the mods working in the background. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy the show. Just helps us get further as a channel. Subscribe, it's totally free. Hit the bell for future content. We're always putting content up, and we're looking at different shows as well, so we'll keep an eye out for that one. If you want to support us, help us grow, you can become a member. Small monthly fee. It'll give you a chance of winning prizes and behind-the-scenes stuff. Have a look at our webpage as well, NUFCtalk.tv, for up-to-date content. If you've got a question, throw a Q in front of it. Won't guarantee you're mentioned, but we'll have a look at it. But if you want to guarantee it, use the $sign, follow the instructions, and throw us a super chat. All members that become a member and anyone that gifts a membership will be highlighted and thanked. So, right then, I've done enough talking, so I'm going to let you give us your take on today's game.
Right. Well, what was said from the start was that 11 that lined up should be more than capable of beating a Division 1 team. That 11 wasn't capable of beating them. We had to bring on proper players, you might say, in the form of, well, I mean, to be fair, Tonali came on for Bruno, so that was, if you like, quality for quality. But we ended up having to bring on Murphy and who else came on? Let me have a think. Somebody else came on, didn't they? Oh, God, no, Kraft came on for Byrne because Byrne picked up the knock, didn't he?
No, Kraft was playing from the start. It was Shah who came on for Byrne.
Yeah, Cher, yeah. So, you know, the bottom line is we got through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's all you can say. Bit of a poor showing.
Does it not highlight the lack of expenditure yet again in the third transfer window on the trot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, having said that, Asula, you could argue, staked a claim, and he was part of last summer's kind of
boy for 10 million. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has got something about him down that right-hand side. I must admit, he's, like I say, he looks like he wanted the ball. But obviously, I suppose everybody's heard enough of me, and I want to hear from everybody else. So first on the shout was our lovely Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
You can see my face today.
You can't. Listen, I'm going to say that. You're in front of the camera today, Lewis. Well done, mate.
Because I'm normally on my phone, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. That's all right. So, what was your thoughts on that game then, buddy?
Oh God, hard to watch.
Yeah, a bit scrappy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I can hear myself twice.
That's all right.
When I come out and come back in, See
No,
that
we're okay with it as long
We
as
can hear you.
we
That's
can hear
fine,
you
is it?
fine.
Oh,
You're not
hang on.
echoing our side.
I've-
Just turn your sound down if you want to.
It's turned off the
Right.
stream. Oh well.
Yeah, exactly. So go on, give us your insights before we go to somebody else.
It's fine. It was just awful to watch. I was like, oh my god, here we go again.
Yeah.
But at least we got through. That's all that matters for us.
Well,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
bottom line is exactly that. We're in the hat.
Yeah,
Still.
absolutely.
When is the draw?
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Not
After the two
Sunday?
games tomorrow. Who was your standout player today then, mate?
Pope?
You thought Pope was? Yeah, he had a good game, 2 good saves. To be fair, 2 very good
On the
saves.
group chat from Tony, who has his own channel. Hey, I said you keeping the will with the second goal for Birmingham.
Yeah. I think Pope, as I said earlier on, Pope, Asula, and after that, you're struggling really. Willick, you've got to say, got his 2 goals by hook or by crook, and Asula got 2 assists. But the rest, Tino, poor, Longstaff, poor. Dan Burn didn't cover himself in glory. Target didn't kind of stake any claim. He was, 5 out of 10 at best, I would have thought.
Yeah, but plus, it's like, there was a lucky it was not any red cards in that game.
Well, the referee, we do it every week, don't we? Complain about the referee. So
yeah, but there should be some red cards in that game.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're talking about. I've just been looking on here. It flashed up on my screen. Potential red card against us, if I'm honest with you, and they're talking about the tackle that Miley did on that lad who went off on a stretcher because it was his studs that ripped open his kneecap. And they're saying, was it a potential one? And like I said, I don't think it was. There was definitely a coming together.
The Birmingham player was sliding, Lewis was running. It's just
Yeah. I mean,
it's accidental.
That's right. It wasn't a high foot or anything like that. He just left his foot in there because he wanted to block the ball. So, I couldn't see much with that. But I think you're right. I think there was a lot of decisions that went for Blues in this game when it come to free kicks because they certainly was very physical.
The one on when, Fabian Shaw, when you got shoved into the advertising boards.
Well, there was a worse one than that, I think, for when Willock was taken out completely.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Nothing given.
Yeah. Well, he got the foul, but what I'm saying to you is when a player doesn't actually receive or attempt to go for the ball and just aims for the player, isn't that not intentionally dangerous play because you're taking the lad off the park?
It's red. I mean, sorry.
And plus, if there's fear not in that game, how much at a time was it been in the second half?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It was squeaky bum time towards the end, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I said to me, Dad, why did we bring Isaac on for 2 minutes? It was pointless.
Well, I think the thing is,
I went off with a head injury.
Head injury. Yeah, exactly.
I went off a head injury, but 2 minutes. Sure, you wouldn't play with 10 men for 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Isaac did nothing, didn't touch the ball, but like I said, it does run the clock down, and that's literally what you do it for. And it's just a case of there's no risk really because you're only asking him to run onto the centre of the park and stand there. You've got more chance of hurting yourself, coming down your stairs at home. So, like I said, at the end of the day, I understand what you're saying, but like I say, it was a hard watch. It was definitely a hard watch tonight.
And Birmingham were complaining about our goal for the second one was a high foot.
Oh yeah, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, how's it going with you? What's your thoughts?
Well, firstly, I'm glad we're through, but on the other hand, it was shocking from us today. 2 seconds. It was shocking from us. Standout player was Asula. Wow, in that first half especially, I don't know
I
if I'm
feel like
being
I'm heading out,
deluded here,
guys.
but
Okay, see you, Lewis. Cheers, mate.
his movement is like Mbappe at times. The way he runs with the ball, like he's got the potential to be a top player. He just needs a run of games, more training, more coaching. But you could see today, like he was on it, and if it wasn't for him, fucking, we would be out of the cup.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Apart from that, like Longstaff, sorry mate, you're done. You're done at this football club. Like, I'm sorry, did he win his contract in like a cereal box or something? Like honestly, like, so we say he's not good for the Premier League. Well, you're not good for the Championship level, and you're not good for League One level. Like, what is he good? Like, what is he good at? Sorry,
Well, he's
I'm
got
sorry,
yet
you're
another
done. Like,
start and yet another win.
oh nah, Win, don't give me that shit, man. I'm sorry,
it-
like I don't want to. Do you know what it is? It comes to a point where I don't even want to badmouth him because I don't want to waste my energy on him. He's done. Don't want to see him in the shirt again.
I agree with you.
And apart from that, Birmingham, for a neutral, that first half was amazing. Like end to end. Give props to Birmingham. They came at us.
Yeah.
Dirty bastards, though.
To
Yeah,
be fair,
absolutely.
the first
You love
30
to see it,
seconds
though,
wasn't
innit?
bad.
You
Well,
love to see it.
but that's what I said. I mean, it made it entertaining because they were physical, and that's what Chris said. You know, he likes to see that physical side of the game, and that is the
Yeah.
only reason that they were able to compete in the half spaces because they were bullying us at times. And what worried me though, if I'm honest with you, you know, when you look at the amount of aerial domination that these guys had, and when you
Yeah.
look at the height difference that we had compared to them, why were they winning all the balls in the air?
Yeah, that's shocking. Especially Burn, like, how's he getting beat in the air from like what's his name, Stansfeld or whatever?
Yeah, Stansfield. A couple of times. I
And he
mean,
was a dirty
he
player
won.
as well.
He won one of three aerial duels,
We've
and like I said, you
we've
know,
got
you're starting at 6'6". You've got to ask the question, haven't you?
We've
Yeah.
got Bia Vaken and of course, the big Dan Byrne fan club. Byrne skinned 3 times, 1 out of 4 aerials, lost on the second goal, and lost an aerial leading to the corner for the first goal.
There you go.
Yeah. Apart from that, I haven't really got much to say apart from the players that I mentioned that like. were
Well,
good
it's not
before.
surprising you haven't got much to say because the whole game was just like
Yeah, but the
it
thing
was
is,
a
like,
meh.
people say like, oh, it's our second team, whatever, right? It's not really an excuse because our second team should be competing against a League One side.
Well, we did. We competed against them and we beat them.
We
I
have
know, but
beaten
I'm
them.
just saying it shouldn't be as hard as it was when.
Well, yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like,
But again, I think this is down to mentality. I think this is why, not just the players who started there today, but our first 11 sometimes just go on the pitch thinking that they're going to win the game and
yeah,
don't realise that they've got to work and challenge. I mean, again, today, every second ball was going to a blue shirt. They looked like they had one player on the park more than we did. But the bottom line is, what little quality we did have has shone through, and we've won the game.
yeah.
And with a better referee, we could have had more, I think. But no, not good at all. I was pleased Callum got his goal, came on and
Well,
started his
that's pretty much what he did in the whole game. Like, was his goal? He didn't really offer much.
rehabilitation.
Yeah, but I mean, he's up against 3 defenders most of the game, mate. To be fair, you know, you need support then, and that's what I said. We played as we started the season with the lads playing out wide and nobody actually in touch with the front man. So Isak gets isolated, and even with the quality that Isak's got, you're not going to beat 2 or 3 players all of the time. And Callum Wilson was like that. There was nobody getting in and around him to support him, and then we got our goals from movement and a little bit of luck, if I'm honest with you. I mean, that first goal to me, I don't think it crossed the line, but, you know, you take it when it comes your way. Because over a season, I know you say it was, but I think over the season it balances itself out. You're going to get some go your way, some don't. Yeah. But, you know, when you look at the likes of, you know, you said about Callum Wilson, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. Ewasula missed that goal. I'll never know. And I think that is the thing that Asula needs to do better. I think there's too much want from Asula sometimes, and he gets like I say, he gets so excited with the ball. It's like he gets a little bit. To me, he looks awkward, because his legs are so long. But to be fair, from what he's done today, I agree with you. I think Asula has shone out of all of them today. Bauke, are you? Can you hear us, mate?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, come on, then, mate. Let's have.
Sorry, Gary, I gotta go. But
all right, buddy.
Catch you later. Thanks for coming on.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, buddy. Take care, mate.
Thanks, Tiger.
Yeah,
go on then, Bauke. Yeah. According to Chris, somebody's saying that we can't hear you. Could anybody else? Because I can hear him absolutely fine.
I can hear Borky. Can everybody hear Borky?
Chris is saying we can't hear him, so I don't know whether Chris has got us on, obviously, YouTube now. So no sound from him, according to Mad Mag. Oh. So I don't know why, because I can hear him loud and clear.
And so can I.
So, Bauke, do us a favour, dude. Can you jump yourself out and then jump yourself back in, and then we'll have a see if that sorts itself out.
And while he's doing that, let me just share this, especially for Gary.
Go on, then. Go on. Let's have a look.
How can I get this full screen? I don't know.
What's that? Oh, you need to go on share screen, buddy. Group share screen.
There. And there you see it, plain as day, well over the line. Well over the line. Can you see that?
No, mate, it's too small on my screen. Let me see if I can adjust it slightly so I get a better view.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Where's the ball? I couldn't even see the ball.
Where's Gary?
Yeah, send it us, and I'll have a look at it. I didn't hear a word and still made more sense than Derek, says Mad Mag.
There you are. I've sent you that on WhatsApp as an image.
I'll have a look, mate, in a second. Bauke, you're back. Are you there? Well, like I said, I had no issues with you before. So I'm...
question of whether anybody else can hear him, and I just turn up the...
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Can
you take your thing from your screen, mate? Because
yep.
Obviously we've still got it. And Tim, are you in the background as well? Because you're muted at the minute, so I can't hear you. Anyway, Bauke, let's go with it.
Can people hear us okay?
Well, evening. Anybody can hear Bauke? Bauke talks sense, according to Stephen Harker.
Yeah.
Well, evening. Anybody can hear Bauke?
Yeah.
Bauke talks sense, according to Stephen. Go for it, mate.
What I was saying was that we don't have any sort of real backup in the team. Keeper-wise, as I said, we'll have a little bit of backup with Dubs and Pope. Back four, you've got a little bit of cover, but then you get to the midfield and we've got nothing. You've got the main three, the Joe Linton, Tonali and Bruno, but then nothing else on top of that. I don't even think Willock's good enough. I don't think... No. And Miley's a young lad, but you can't just throw him in. You've got to...
No, but I did say that earlier. You're playing Miley in that deep role against very aggressive Birmingham City players that are kicking everybody. And that's no disrespect to Miley, but I think he just needed more protection in the midfield. And when you had Longstaff and even Bruno was quiet. There's no protection for the lads. So nobody's getting stuck into that first ball. And then when it's bouncing, it just becomes a 50-50 ball. You've got... for me, we were being rushed. Nobody actually did control the shape of the team. There was nobody that was controlling the pace of the game. And even though a team like Birmingham, that, like I said during the game, when these guys are used to playing, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, that's part of their season, and they've done that now for a year or two now. So for me, it's a case of, how can we get it better? And we needed to get hold of that midfield. Tonali did better when he come in. He seemed to have that muscle and that aptitude to get forward. But I think there was far too many people on that park that haven't got the technical abilities to beat the press at sometimes, to beat the tackle at times, when they're diving in. You can be really clever when players are throwing themselves in your way if you've got the mental ability to see it and do something to counteract it. And I didn't think we played the ball extremely well today to make it comfortable for ourselves. It became a little bit of a fight for me, and then all of a sudden it's like a 50-50 challenge.
I think
It's exactly what it was for a lot of the season, this season. Misplacing 5-yard passes in the middle of the park. Time after time after time.
I think this season, when we've had the best players on the park, they have been able to control the game more. So they haven't been doing the hard press that they had to do over the first few seasons when we didn't have the players. So they've been able to control.
And did you know, apart from the last time I remember commenting on our press was in about the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And thereafter there was none. It was totally lackluster, but as I say, the main thing is, hey, what's through?
Yeah, I have the Wembley Arch behind me, so I am looking closer and closer. I might take another step back tomorrow, you know what I mean, and get a bit closer.
I'm looking at the 55-25. Come on, 70th anniversary.
It's getting there.
It's doing nicely.
David T saying after the show, Gary, are you off for a drink with Jasper Carrot? Funky moped. No.
I've said this before, but I don't think Bruno's a captain. But in the first few minutes, you needed somebody to be shouting at the players and having a go at them, and he just didn't do it. When Tonali came on, he actually was quite aggressive towards some of his teammates and was having a bit of a pop at them for not getting back and things.
Yeah, he was, absolutely.
But
and that's what you needed from the lads, isn't it? You needed that little bit of grit and determination from all of them, coming onto the park. And again, I don't know, what it is about SofaScore, because SofaScore have yet again given the likes of Fabian Schär, Jacob Murphy 7s, but Sandro Tonali only a 6.8. It's shocking, really. Even Sean Longstaff got a 7.1.
And he was just
awful.
I mean, what are these guys, looking at when they're marking scores? Emil Kraft got 6.8, Dan Burns 6.1, Miley 6.7, and then they give Livramento Sean Longstaff 7.1, who I thought had a bit of a shocker. Bruno Gilmoris had 6.5 as well. So, and we all know that the midfield was a struggle throughout the game, but I can't see, and this is hand on heart, how Sean Longstaff gets 7.1 and Miley and the rest of the midfield get 6s. Doesn't make sense to me, that.
Right. I tell you one thing is, Tino seems to be getting worse. Hall teams are getting better. Tino seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the ball there.
Oh, are you sure? Because that to me is literally the goalkeeper's gloves.
Well, that's the ball over the line there.
Do you remember Peacocks in the 5-0 win?
5-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's over
Right.
the line.
That's well
Okay.
over the line.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I said. You look at the linesman, right? Now, the linesman who gave the goal,
That's what
he's
they've got him
looking at
to-
this player. How can he see that?
Well, he's looking through that gap there as well, isn't he?
What the hell, man? Honest to God, there is no way on God's
I
earth.
just think from wherever you look at that, that's over the line.
Yeah, from here, because you're looking at an angle. I want you to have. I want this angle here, down this line, and I bet you now, it ain't over the line.
We'll never know.
We'll never know that one. To be
Full
fair,
line technology.
You can
Yeah,
always
exactly.
tell from players' reaction, though, can't you? Not one player trying to run towards the referee saying that's over the line. It was.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you look, that's what I said. Nobody celebrated, not even the players celebrated, because it was Willock shot over the bar. Everybody thought it was a goal kick. So they all turned and was running back, getting back into shape for the goal kick. So it was a strange one, to be fair. But I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for my mum to give me a ring and talk about that goal that was allowed.
Well, you've got the photograph to send to her.
I'll send her it. Yeah. It was definitely over the line. Mom. Honest. Ben Arthur, NUFC. Ben Arthur, NUFC. Livermore hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been at the high levels he set when he first joined, which pleasantly surprised us when we had I mean, I'm just going to put that into a bit of context. I have never really been amazingly or enamored by Tino Livramento. He's always looked awkward. He's always looked a little bit clumsy. But I understand what you're saying. He does excite. He does run forward. And he has got the ability, and we've seen that, to go and get a goal for us on the odd occasion. But I agree to a point now. I think he's got worse as the season's gone on.
Reed, can you hear her?
Hello, everyone. I can hear you pretty well. How are you doing?
Good.
Very good, mate. Are you?
Mate, it was a good game. It was a good game. Wait. I'll tell you why it was a good game. I'll tell you why it was a good game.
I wait with bated breath.
On the performance of the first half, we didn't expect Birmingham to come out at us and go boom, and they went boom. Like they gave us tackles. They came in hard. It was an FA Cup, a real FA Cup tie, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
Right. Okay. So then, give me a second. The fact that we stayed with them in a style that we're not used to playing, really, made the first half a wonderful half of football for me. I thought they came in hard. We were sitting back, and then we went forward, and we scored a couple of outrageous goals. Like, I mean, they weren't goals, really, were they? Let's be honest. But we scored some. We got lucky, but we stayed in the tie, and I thought we dug in really well against a side that came out just to go for blood. One of their players had a black eye. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So he had a black eye. So he's obviously been out the night before, talking to some of the missus, and got a smack. Right. What I'm saying is,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
I like the way in which we stayed in the game. I really enjoyed the fact that we gave it as good as we got in certain aspects. And the Lewis Miley thing about the injury, that was terrific, but that was just it. Miley was not intentionally doing what he was going to do, right? But it was a game of football, and it was a proper FA Cup tie. Stretchers out, that type of thing, smacking into the boards. Loved the way we stayed in it, and loved the way Tonali judged it when he came on the pitch. Love the way Willock played. Willock played fantastic, and it's really good to see Willock play good like that again. He is, he's got the capability of being a really good player, and he's shown it again today. He's got the Man of the Match award, and for me, it's a gritty tie. Horrible to watch, but good that we stayed in it, and good that we got the result. Right or wrong?
Well,
Because
there
it
you
could
go.
very easily.
There's one
And
positive old review from our man on the sidelines, Amrit.
well, I tell you, not only that though, but you could put a number of Premier League teams into that position against Birmingham, thugs that they are. They are thugs,
Yeah,
uh, and
absolutely. We
and
got
and
bullied.
and we'll see how they react to that type of game. We reacted really well. We dug in, and you know what? We showed them respect in certain parts where we had to go into the corner flag, and we kept the ball in that, and that is a maximum respect for them, like Man City did to us when they were one goal ahead of us. They did that at the Etihad, and
Yeah,
we thought, right, they're shitting themselves here, and literally that's what we were. Tonali ran over. I think it was to Emil Kraft when he got knocked over and said, "Just take your time, son. Like this is not over. There's 12 minutes of extra time, so on and so forth." Um, a proper FA Cup tie that we just nicked.
I think we'll certainly agree with you there that it was a proper FA Cup tie.
yeah. Let's just have a
We
quick
weren't
look at
allowed to play
some.
football, Win. We weren't allowed to play any sort of football.
No.
And,
Well, I was just going to say, just have a listen to this though. This is dispossessed. So Birmingham City, 5 times they were dispossessed. We were dispossessed 15 times. Ground Jewels won. They won 46%. We won 54%, which was 45 out of 84. Aerial duels, we were 50-50. We got 11 out of 22 aerial duels. Dribbling, 14 out of 19 attempts was dribbling down past. Now, when you look at defending, total tackles, they got 20 tackles into our 19. Interceptions, 16 interceptions, Birmingham to our 3. Recoveries, 42-48. So they were making us work so much more. I mean, they had a lot more clearances than we did, 24-18. But errors that led to a shot, we were one apiece.
But it's those 16 interceptions that were the problem, because
Yeah,
those 16 interceptions were essentially badly placed passes,
yeah.
and
And
a lot of them in dangerous positions.
so
But
yeah,
the
you
the
say
one
that.
thing, yeah, the one thing that really frustrates me though, Amri, if I'm honest with you, right? We've got players that will battle for things up top, and I'm saying this open heartedly. We've got players that will go and challenge, but where we were struggling was balls, crosses from Birmingham City. I didn't think we won that many balls in the air. And I mean, both of their goals come from aerial balls. Bad placement from Kraft on the second goal. Great finish, to be fair, from Birmingham. That play, he smashed it into the roof of the net. Absolutely amazing goal, but it's poor. For me, when you look at the amount of crosses we don't do and yet allow oppositions just to beat us down the line. And I mean, Tino was beaten, I don't know how many times down the right side as a right back. And even Longstaff looked a little bit of a statue at times when he went out there to support him. And that worries me. If we can't win aerial balls as big as we are as a defensive unit, then we have to, have a look at what's going on. Is it positioning? What is it that's not working for us aerially?
No,
I'm going to
you know
have,
what? Absolutely right.
I'm obviously going to watch the game again,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm interested to see all these aerial duels that Dan Byrne allegedly lost, because I wonder what they're calling aerial duels. So I look
Well,
forward to watching that again.
yeah, but we both discussed that one where Stansfield beat him, and obviously he was man to man with Stansfield, and his header went wide. I mean, that should have been a goal, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't get beat. All I'm saying is, uh, it'd be interesting to see what they call aerial duels.
Yeah,
What classified as aerial duels.
Okay, I mean, I get what you're saying, Gary, but at the end of the day, right, they came at us today, right? When we walked onto the pitch today, we did not expect them to come at us with the ferocity that they did. Yes, we were defensively lacking at times. When it came to the first goal, for example, we left a whole lot of space in the box open with two of their players in there, and we deserved that goal to go in, and I get it. But what I credit the players with today is fighting, is getting into the grit of things. Ursula played really well. I thought he played really well as well. He got the ball, he held the ball up. There's a couple of times where he could have passed the ball where he didn't, and he went for a shot. And for me, he's in his rights to do that. He's confident. He wants to go for goals and what have you. And we wouldn't blame Isak for doing that, and we're certainly not going to blame him for having a try. He got targeted today. He got targeted big style, like by that black-eyed guy, whatever he was. He got into him big style. And at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say here is that these are the type of games that we are not really used to. Would you agree to me? Like
Yeah.
it's a
Can I have
very
a quick word there? 'Cause
very physical game.
Yeah, go on, man.
I do slightly disagree in that these are lads that I've seen will get to a cup final. We're at the League Cup final now, and
Yeah.
I don't think any of them put in a fight to try to get a place in the team.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying about them fighting for the win, the win, but there wasn't one of them that really put in a performance where you would think, yeah, you've got a chance ahead of him.
Bar Willock, maybe?
No, Willock wasn't. Willock was okay at times, but again, you wouldn't choose him over what we've been playing.
Would you put Willock in over Gordon?
No, you wouldn't.
Well, that's the only place he's going to get in the team, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
At the minute.
Centrally, maybe, but again, we haven't. That's not going to happen without there being some sort of injury or something like that.
Yeah, you see, for me, and Boki mentioned it before. For me, when they went into the box right at the death of the game, and they broke down the left-hand side yet again, it was Tonali giving the likes of Murphy, the likes of Asula, the likes of Willock and Rollicking, because they're okay when they want to run forward, but they're not okay when they want to get back. And that's what I said. I am looking forward, if it ever happens, for one day Tonali wearing that armband, because I tell you something now, the day that he does, some of the lads in that team need to watch, because it's effort, mate. Like I said, it's surprising, and I said this about Asula. Asula doesn't give. He's great on that right wing, but he doesn't give you enough protection. Tino was left vulnerable today, hence Longstaff had to drop in a lot of the time. And once Longstaff drops into that area, then you're outnumbered in the middle of the park. So what we've got, sometimes it works for you. It's worked for us today. But you imagine if we were on a 3-2 loss, how would you have felt then? Would you have been the same? Do you understand me?
I get what you're saying. I guess what I'm trying to say today is that we stepped up physically in a way like that. For me, I didn't realize we could. Like,
yeah,
that's what pleased me. Yes, there are a number of things in that performance that we could go in, and like you just said, sir, I totally agree with you. And there are things that we can work on. And what you've got to remember is that we've just come off the back of a sensational victory. Hello. We've just come off the back of a sensational victory, right? And we've got players that are on the pitch that don't know each other on the pitch, yeah. And taking that time to bed in. Towards the end of the game, we started having a little bit more solidarity in the fact that people knew what was going on. But the likes of Emil Kraft being put back in, Willock coming on, there's a whole load of changes in that team. Lewis Miley, Callum Wilson, great ball in, by the way, from Callum Wilson for the first goal. And he was there poaching for his goal, and that's what Callum does, But we can criticize the performance in a way, but I think we got hit for 6. I think what happened is we got shell shocked when we first started that game, especially obviously after the first goal, but especially after the first 10 minutes, we started thinking, oh dear, this is not going to be a walk in the park.
No.
And what I say is give credit to the team because they came back and got the result in the end,
Yeah, yeah.
bar a number of mistakes. But put it this way, a few seasons ago, we could have well just given up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, we
And
would have done, mate, wouldn't we?
we
It
would have
would have
given
been
we
a
would
loss,
have
wouldn't it?
given yeah, it would have been a loss. And I guess that's what I'm trying to reiterate here is that we not handsomely, but like sort of gave it a go and got over the line. And it's those type of performances that you need to do in a cup run. Not the cup run's not going to be magically amazing every time. You're not going to have 4-0, 5-0, 3. Just look at Leeds United for today. Like a number of teams that have suffered losses where
Hmm.
they wouldn't have thought so, and that's where I really enjoyed the fact that we got over the line, be it just scraped it and made a handful of mistakes. I'm not sure about Pope as well. If I'm honest with you, I'm not sure about Pope. And me
Well,
and Neil were watching the
Pope,
game
Pope
together.
has
Me and
shown
him were,
there today exactly what we know about Pope. That
yeah,
he's a brilliant shot stopper,
shot stopper. Yeah,
but he's a liability as far as any footwork or distribution is concerned.
that's right. And can
And
you,
that's
if
exactly
you
what we
go
knew.
back, and watch it again, Win, you'll see that the like a couple of times he's played the ball out on the left or played the ball out on the right. It was dodgy. It was dodgy. He looped the ball over. It wasn't like a normal pass. Emil Kraft did a really good job in on one occasion in converting that into an attack. But for most of the occasions, what happened is that we lost the ball after he'd played that
Hmm.
in midfield, causing pressure on the rest of the boys, and then a subsequent Birmingham attack. For me, if Dubravka had played today, it might have been an easier game. That's just me saying, you know.
Yeah,
I
well, you
think
could say that about all of the first team.
Yeah.
I think the one thing you
If
do.
Gordon had played, if Isak had played, if Tenali had
No,
played,
no, 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 no. I don't. I think a lot when you rewatch the game, which I'm going to do myself, and analyze what happened. What Pope, his shot stop, brilliant. I mean, he couldn't have done anything about the second goal, right? I mean, please tell me he couldn't have done anything about the second goal. Like, because I thought
I'm not
initially, I
blaming him
thought he
for
was in
either.
a good position. He was in a good position. He just had to put his hand out. Now, I used to play keeper, right? But when a ball's hit that hard, I mean, it must have been flying like over 100 kilometers an hour. There's not much
Yeah,
you can do
Vikings
about that.
just given us the definition now on the sofa score of an aerial duel, a football player where two or more players from opposing team jump to compete for a ball near. You don't say, Beer. You don't say.
I think
I
one thing
love,
you've got
yeah,
to take into account is with the back four, when Trips isn't playing, there isn't a leader there. Trips
Yeah.
actually tells them
agree.
where to be. You can hear him or see him just across the back line saying, move up, move down, do this, do that. The rest of them don't have that sort of communicate or the authority to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't got his brain. That's the thing. His
That's the thing.
football
He
brain.
is a football brain, yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
you what, though. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, no. I was just going to say, for me, there's parts and parcel. I agree with you, but I still have to question our defensive issues, and that worries me. It worries me to the point where you allow a Birmingham header at the back post to fall on the 6 yard line, not nowhere else, and the player has a swing at it uncontested. I
Yeah.
find
Yep.
that at this level, and we're talking the FA Cup, things can happen, but when you have got players that have played in Premier League situations, they should know what playing under pressure means. But it still doesn't stop you from getting out of position, and we were vulnerable, not just once. We were vulnerable on virtually every counter-attack that Birmingham gave us, and then thumped the ball into the box. We looked all over the place. Now, 3 out of the 4, I agree with you, are, I suppose, raw still, even though I still class Tino, as everybody else seems to think. He's not raw anymore. He was one of our starlights last year.
Well,
This year he seems to be, regressing a little bit. Now, again, is that because he's playing under a bit of pressure himself and he's trying to perform? Sometimes when you've got individual pressure to perform, your game just doesn't go the way you want it to go, and you can make yourself look a little bit raw. And Target again, vulnerable at the back post at times. Headers the ball not in the right areas. You'd have been better off just heading it out for a corner and re-gauging yourself. But no, he heads it back into a danger area, and we got punished. So it's things like that. And yet, the emotion of the FA Cup, I love it if it was a neutral. But to me, for us going forward and advancing in this cup, we've got to be better.
We've got Pete from Wyoming agreeing with Amrit here. The game was a throwback, an absolute battle.
Yeah,
Newcastle had to roll their sleeves up big time to take control, which they did. Showed a lot of toughness, character. Well played.
I think part of the worry next season is as well, though, that the back four the players that we've got for the back four, we've only got 3 that are going to be under 30.
Yeah.
All of that, is it 7 or not 7, 6 or 7 now are going to be over 30 at the start of next season.
Yeah. Well, you've got Tripp, Shen, and Byrne. On Kraft as well as over 30.
Kraft, Target.
But for me, I totally understand where you're coming from here. But Gary, you know this. Me and you talked about this before, right? When you've got a new back four, they're going to take time. It doesn't matter how much training you do on training, yeah. And you've got Livramento, you've got you've got Kraft in there, and these players, Livramento and Kraft, in my eyes, are very, very good players. Like I like Emil Kraft. Really
I'm not saying I don't like him. What I'm saying to you is what my suggestion was before, buddy, was you're looking at a player who plays very infrequently as right centre back. So positionally, you need help. And Boki's right. Today, the ideal candidate to play today would have been Trippier. But we all know it's too close for Trippier to come in today. So who do you need then? And for me, the person that you need is your goalkeeper. It's your goalkeeper who tells you where to play when you've got a voice behind you. It's easy to watch the game in front of you, and there should be a lot of coaching from the keeper. And that is one of Pope's failures, if I'm honest with you. And it has been because he's never had a voice.
I am totally 100% with you there. That's why I said to you, if Dubravka had been playing today, I think it would have been a totally different game. I really do. And that might be a strong thing to say, right? And I know that we love Pope and we love Dubravka. But for me, I mean, we were watching it with the boys today, right? Downstairs in the room we podcasted from a while ago. And, we have 5 of us there. And we were watching it. And every time Pope tried to distribute the ball, it was just like, what is going on? That would not have happened if Dubravka was there. It would never have happened. And not only that, you put an added pressure onto your midfield, who then have to cover and come back and track and lose energy and stamina and all the rest of it. You know this, Gary.
Listen, I am not taking anything away from Birmingham City.
No.
They did a job on us today, and we had to pull our sleeves up and have a go. The biggest thing for me was the fact that we've got players in the squad that technically, you should be able to beat anybody from League One, right? On our bench, there's no facts or fiction on that. It's a case of technically they should be better players. And to be fair, Birmingham's tenacity today made us look very ordinary. And you're absolutely right. Birmingham didn't allow us to play. But for me, it was a case of there is too many players on that park that have got the technical ability and the quality to calm it down. And I,
Just a quick question. How far,
Yes, Michael. Yeah, no.
the technical ability and the quality.
I can hear
There's an
myself now.
echo.
Just a quick.
Michael, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, buddy. Can you turn your sound down because it's coming back through your speaker?
Press mute on YouTube.
So put YouTube on mute
Hello,
for a
mate.
second.
Can you turn your sound down because it's coming back through the speaker?
I will do, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
So put YouTube on mute. Can you turn your sound down?
Oh.
Am I causing fucking carry on, like?
Yeah, carry on, mate.
Carry.
Come on,
how
buddy.
far down the league are you dropping before you have a craft playing for a team
I
in
can't
the
hear
Premier
that
League?
anymore.
No. You need to press mute on your YouTube.
I'm just saying, how far down the Premier League is it before Kraft plays in a Premier League team? I don't think he gets in before the bottom 4 or 5.
Wow, I disagree. I disagree.
I think, like I said, Kraft is one of those. I think Kraft is one of those players that you can utilise, but you can't expect him not to make mistakes. And I think that is what you've got to be aware of. You know what I mean?
Hang on. What about the first half of the season? What about the first half of the season? Howard, let's have a talk about how Emil Kraft played for us at the towards the beginning part of the season. He played magnificently, and I'll be honest with you, he's got it in him. As long as he can stay fit, he's got stamina, he's got power. He's a quality defender. I've told you a number of times how much I love Kraft. I think he's a great player and a great player to have in a back.
Really well early on in the season.
Yeah, and okay. There's going to be issues when you're having a total new back four. We had it in our last FA Cup tie, right? Again, we had a totally new team that didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't know how people were going to run off the ball, and there was no telepathy like there is between Murphy and Isaac, But what we did get towards the end was a team performance, which is impressive.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't think Kraft's a starter. I don't think he's ever going to be a starter, a regular starter. As I say in the Premier League, if he was going to be a regular starter, he'd be down the very bottom.
Yeah, you see, for me, I look at a player and position, and the way they set up, and I often look at it and say to myself, if Emil Kraft was in a 3 at the back, I think he would be. Guys. Yeah, Michael. I don't know what it is with Michael's. It's just coming straight through the.
Again, I've sent him a private message, but I don't know if he's got it. Michael, if you can hear us on YouTube, what you need to do when you come into the studio, before you come in the studio, go on FMUC settings, audio, and press echo cancellation.
When you look at the situation where, like, with Crafty, if he was playing the right side of a back 3, absolutely fine. When you play him in a 2, positionally, he's a little bit astray. Now, you can get away with it if you've got a midfield. If we had our full lineup in the middle of the park, that's going to stop and block most of it. You've got your right players on the right-hand side that's going to support your full-backs and not get anybody come around the back of you and get the crosses in. Emil Kraft today on the floor has been technically without an issue. He's won 1 out of 1 aerial duels, but it's the vulnerability, and I go to where we were before. I can't. When you look at the ball's coming into the box, for me, he's got to be attacking the ball from being, behind the ball and then go forward and attack the ball. Sometimes for me, Emil Kraft, being that right-sided player, gets attracted a little bit too much for me on that right-hand side. So he finds himself, there's too much space between Dan Burn on the left centre-back and Emil Kraft. And that's my only concern with Crafty. Yes, he does really well. And like I say, for me, as a stand-in, he's a true 100% player that will give you everything that he can. He's never going to shy away. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
But sometimes you've just got to have the brain to be in the right position. And sometimes for me, again, because of this right-sided situation, he does drift away from that central area a bit too much. And that's what I'm saying. When the ball comes over his head and Stanfield running between them, great centre-forward positioning, we were just a little bit offish. Kraft was too far forward. Dan Burn was too far back. And there was no cover whatsoever in the middle of the park, in the penalty area. And that's where goals are scored. And we saw that today. Edge of the 6-yard box, nobody's actually closing it down. And again, it's that right-sided position and the centre where the ball dropped to, where he had the shot. So,
yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. And
I think
I
Kraft's
mean,
I can't argue.
let me see what.
Michael, we can hear you, mate, but we've got an echo coming from your TV or wherever you're watching us on YouTube. So we just need you to turn the YouTube off or mute it for a second, and then you can have your say. Because at the minute, all that's coming back through my ears is me repeating myself. Does that make sense? There you go.
Now are you there?
Michael, can you hear us now?
No, he's turned his mic off.
He's turned his mic off. Yeah, exactly. And now we can't hear. He can't hear anybody. It's really. There you go. Michael, can you just turn your volume down? Can you hear us, buddy? No. Anyway.
Can I just say, Kraft,
go on, Boker. I'm going to say, go for it, mate.
Contract's up at the end of the season, I think. I'd 100% give him a new contract. Got to obviously stick around the club. But if Kraft's a starter, then we have problems. As you say, Gary, he's a backup, and if he has to start in certain games, like the FA Cup games and things like that, it's fine. But actually having him as a starter, as I say, he's not a top of the league Premier League starter.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I say, he's an honest player. He's a very honest player. But I just think there's and this is my concern when we got rid of Kelly. As much as I didn't think Kelly set the world afire, once you get rid of these centre halves, you're very thin.
All right, we can hear you now.
Michael, have you say, buddy?
Go for it.
All right. I don't know. Hello, can you hear us or not?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
I think he's listening to it through YouTube.
Oh, good.
Right, go on, have your say.
I've got it on my fucking telly, and I've got it on my phone. I'm on my phone,
Well, turn your telly off.
Right, aye. I was just a bit. I was expecting a little bit more, from the two in the need. Now, the match and that.
We can still hear your telly.
We're not now on team, mate.
You just need to turn the telly off. That's all you need to do.
Turn the telly and just.
Yeah, but he can't hear.
Right, but then I can't fucking see you, man.
That's all right. You can hear us though, can't you?
We can't see you.
Oh, no, because I'm out.
Oh, you're out and about.
Out and about.
Right,
well, sorry, I'll not disturb you, sure. I'll try again tomorrow and whenever. We'll take care. I'll watch.
All right, buddy. You take care, Michael.
Look after Michael.
Right. Let's
back to the Kraft thing. I was going to say.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, totally agree with you. Not a first team player. Can he become one? That's another question.
Bit
He's,
late
you
in the
know,
day.
it's a bit late in the day, yeah. I totally agree with you on that one. But he's a very good squad player to have.
Yeah,
Right or
absolutely.
wrong? Yeah,
Yeah, no,
100%.
that's what I said. He's an honest player, and you
Yeah.
can't have enough honest players in your team.
Exactly. And he'll give his all to Newcastle United. And I respect that. And I think, you know, I've looked at some of the comments that are coming through, and I think it's quite interesting to see what people are saying. You know, I heard someone say we'll never have a game like that again. It was like Birmingham were playing like a cup final. They were. They're going to be knackered tomorrow because ice baths galore, and 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 that's what the beauty of today's game was. They gave it their all, and I'll tell you now, Birmingham are if they continue going the way they're going now, they're going to be in the Championship, and they are going to be in the Premier League within 5 years.
Oh, there you go. Nostradamus has spoken.
Nostradamus. But again, it's the cash injection, mate, that all teams need, isn't it?
Yeah, there is that. But they've got something there. They've got the crowd were wonderful for them. Like, I know there was good back and forth with the Newcastle crowd, and you only sing when you're winning, and blah 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 blah, and all those other chants that were coming out, and I thought it was fantastic. But you've got to remember, Birmingham gave it their all today. They did, and we soaked it up. There was a few niggles, there was a few injuries. Dan Burn wasn't planned at half time. You know, he was getting in and amongst it as well, Dan Burn, and it was very fiery. It's a fiery cup tie, and it was in a way, it's like going back to the 90s. I can say that now. I can say that. I'm old enough to say that.
You're old enough to say that now, mate.
Yeah, it's like going back to the 90s, and it was crunching. And the beauty of it was, though, in a way, there was no VAR. If there had been VAR, I mean, there's probably going to be a few more bookings and a few more red cards in there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it was a bit like watching Wimbledon back in the day, maybe a little bit toned down, but you know what I'm saying. Like where they used to just go out and go, right, we're going to clatter them and give them a shock of their life, and they did. They gave us the shock of our life.
Absolutely. I'll be well 100% surprised that if Eddie Howe hasn't spoken to the lads and said the only way they're going to beat you today is if they bully you. And they bullied us. And it was nearly the upset. You're quite right. It was nearly the upset. And that's what I said. The lads have turned the corner, they've pulled the sleeves up, and they've done it. But like I say, it's done. It's done. And we've got there.
Wasn't handsome.
I think the one thing I would say about that team that we had out the day is some of them were playing for a new contract.
Yeah, they were.
The contract at the end of the season. Is there many of them that you would give one to?
Well, I definitely. I mean, we know the negotiations with Crafty started, and they're having a chat now. And it's like I said. I think the question you've got to ask yourself, and as a player, you've got to say to yourself, am I at the club where I'm going to get a game time? Am I a player that wants to play, or am I a player that wants to be a bit part? Because if you're not willing to pull your socks up and have a go, and I'm sorry, but there's a few on that wear black and white on that bench that don't seem to understand. It's not a case of just gimmies, pocket money at the end of the week. They've got to want to play for the club, and I think there's the case has happened now, and we've seen it with when Miggy's left. We saw it with Kelly. We thought he was going to be a good player, but the standoff just seemed a little bit, wrong for me. And he did exactly the same at Juventus when he come on for 45 minutes. It was very much, back off, and allow the other player to make a decision. Sometimes that can be detrimental to the rest of the squad because the rest of the squad are expected to get stuck in. So unless they're in the right position for the ball to come into the box, you stop everything, just block. And I've been one. I was one of those players that used to stand off. But there comes a time there. If you beat me once, trust me, you're going to beat me a second time, but you're going to be hurt. And that's the way I used to play. I wasn't the cleanest of players, I'll be honest with you. But
Can I make one more point, Gary?
Yeah.
carry on, mate. Yeah, of course you can.
Why have Ruddy on the bench? Why not put a youngster on?
There was a point to me that it was exactly the same as you. We've gone back to the old two-keeper bench time. But I think, if I'm honest with you, it just proves how thin our squad is now. I mean, the lads that could have been a second part player, if you like, or I mean, look at Sean Neve. Sean Neve's only a 17-year-old kid on the bench today. We've got a lot of our players that would have probably been on the bench that are out on loan now. The ones that are coming into the under-21s are 16 and 17-year-old and 18-year-old kids. So
But even just
we all know Eddie Howe protects the youngsters, and he doesn't want to open up the youngsters, especially that type of football, because that is just a kicking game. That's not a football game. So I can understand the protection, but what scares me is the fact that we have got a very thin squad now. And as we saw today, we've got Byrne now with a potential groin strain. I thought bloody Willock's hamstring had gone when he went down at one point. I really did think his hamstring had stopped. Yeah. And I was panicking a little bit. We've got two players coming back very soon, but all of a sudden now we start to understand the risk and reward of playing back-to-back games week in, week out. The biggest headache for Eddie Howe is, and as you quite rightly said, is who gets the contract, and have we got enough money in the summer to freshen up the whole of the bench? And I don't think we have. So you are stuck with what you've got at least for another 2 years.
Well, saying that though, we've got some really lovely prospects coming on. We've got Lewis Miley for one, who to me looks like he's playing a game that he's 24, 25 years old. He's ahead of his years in his football mind. The way he's getting into positions and helping the team out. Going back to your point,
we're on the way to wrapping it up now anyway. So let's have a look at some of these
comments.
Birmingham have scored more goals in 40 seconds than Arsenal have in 270 minutes.
That's the stat of the day.
Love it.
Longstaff was terrible. The only good thing he did was kick the ball at the same time as the defender to cause a ricochet for the third goal, in my opinion, anyway.
I'm with you on that. I didn't think Longstaff had a very good game.
We would have got beaten that game. There's a lot of validity to this one. We would have got beaten that game in the past. It wasn't great, but I can watch the draw on Monday. They can't.
They can't. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
Asula has immense potential, but needs to ultimately work on his decision making. Still had a cracking game. Yeah, he did.
Totally agree.
So did you say Willett got the man of the match award, Amrit?
Yeah, he got the man of the match award.
Well, 2 goals. It was,
I just wanted to say, just quickly.
We can hear you, mate.
Yeah, but you still got the echo in the background.
Yeah, we can hear you, Michael. But you've still got your telly on, mate. I'll have to knock you off again.
Just quickly, though, going back to Callum Wilson, 3 starts since Boxing Day 2023.
Bloody hell.
3 starts since Boxing Day 2023. But I'll tell you now...
How many goals in those 3?
No, but I'll tell you now... I don't know, actually. But I'll tell you now, man. Lovely to see him back on the field. And lovely to see him not pick up a knock in a very physical game. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed. Look,
well, apparently there's talk of him getting a 2-year.
2-year?
Well, I don't know.
I haven't seen that anywhere, by the way.
It's what I've read today. There's a. Well, I'm not being funny. The lad is coming to the crunch time of his career, isn't he? He's not going to. He's not going to
buy him.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to go. He's not going to stay for 12 months. There's no point in him staying for 12 months. He can be a free agent and go wherever he likes then.
But we need to make some money off him, right? We could
Well,
make a bit
you
of
ain't going to
money
make any money off him, mate.
if we
You-
give
you-
him if we
He's
give
out
him
of
a little bit
contract,
of a
so you're not
contract,
gonna
a
make
small
anything.
contract. If we
He's
give
on
him
a
a small
free.
contract and then make money, no buyout clause, then we could do some good business with him, right?
Well, who's going to buy him? Who's going to pay for him?
Saudi will pay for him.
And
Oh,
would he sign that?
Well,
Eh? Well, he
like I
might.
said,
Might.
there was talk today that well, not today. I read today, so I don't know when the talk was, and I don't know how valid the content is because I don't really trust everybody's
Yeah.
stuff on social media. But
By
apparently,
the
there's
way,
talk behind the scenes. It's he's looking for an 18-month to 2-year contract.
Yeah.
That's he's looking for.
And when we're through here, by the way, we'll be going. There'll be an upload of Eddie Howe's post match and a few of the players' post match contract,
Yeah, yeah,
etc., etc.
Yeah, let's do some more talk then, chat, and then
Yeah, just get these last
Yeah,
chat.
totally.
Well, sorry, we didn't do Brant's there. Brant is saying, "I've come round. Finally come round. Finally, you should be saying there, Brant. Finally come round to Dubs over Pope now.
Hallelujah.
I do believe when Pope is in, you need Shea because otherwise Kraft and Byrne can't play out as much as Pope."
yeah, that's true.
Nathan is saying Sula very raw, still a special player there. Maybe 2 to 3 more seasons, definitely good enough to have around in our first team. I think he definitely came
Absolutely.
out today.
Yeah, especially on that right wing, he was causing no end of issues.
I'm not slagging Sean off, but he also looks mentally tired. He looks miles away. Rashford had the same look at Manure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Yeah.
So there we have it. We're going to
Cool.
call that a day, guys.
Sorry, Michael, that you couldn't get on and have your say, but he's trying his best. Bless him. He's coming back on, but we have got enough now, I think. You want to, Michael? Can you hear us?
And one last shot.
Yeah, go on then.
Right, Michael.
Before we close the show,
You
Now
will
you
have
can't
the
hear us at
final
all.
word.
no, he can't hear us at all.
No.
No, okay.
That's it. Listen, folks.
That's it. It's gone. He's tried, bless him. I love it. The fact
we'll
that
have
he's
to
had another go.
sort them out at some
Yeah,
early,
exactly.
Come in the
is a
forum.
win.
Come in the forum, and we'll get a chat going, Michael, me and you, and I'll talk
We'll
you
get
through
you
the
sorted.
text. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Borky, thanks for coming on, mate. Amrit, cheers as always.
Thank you very
Yeah, yeah.
much.
And
Thank you, guys.
we will see you when we see you. The gaffer's waiting to put the rest up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
2 and
Have
2.
a lovely night. Thank you very much.
Two,
And we're the
goodbye
lads
from
and
him.
lasses.
Come
Goodbye
on.
from
That's
him.
goodbye
No,
from
a
him.
win is a win.
Goodbye from me. We're through to
Yeah.
the next round. We should all be happy, man. Away
Come
we've
on.
won.
I am
Well
not.
done, the
I'm
tune.
thinking, what's this?
Come on.
Come on, it's like a week.
I am not. I'm thinking, wait, totally.
Good
What the
tune. Come on, how are the lads? We will see you next time, folks.
Absolutely.
Ciao.
Cheerio.
Ta-ra for now.
Ta-da.